Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the Raxium CXR Series V2 LED headlights with black housings and clear lenses, fitting 2015 to 2017 F-150s, as well as 2018 to 2020 Raptor models. The CXR V2s are a great choice for the F-150 owner who's after the most lighting output they can get for the best price. These are an aggressive looking full LED setup that helps to modernize the front end of your truck and packs a ton of output into a really slick package. The CXR V2s take the style of the regular CXRs and they bump things up just a little bit. And while these do look like they could have been a factory option, their output is worlds away from your factory lights. Now inside you get those black internal housings that generally make these look pretty aggressive. But the bigger story is the four of them, bi-LED ice cube style projectors running the entire height of the light housing. These again are bi-LED units, meaning that they are going to function entirely, all four of them, as your high and low beams. The fact that these are projectors means that they are of course going to have a wide beam pattern with a sharp cutoff and a very crisp output. Make no mistake, these things are bright. And they also put out a pretty cool temperature light around 5000 K, so you can expect more of a bright white type of light as opposed to the yellow of your factory halogens. You also get more LEDs around the outer edges that function as your daytime running lights and signals. The DRLs here are going to illuminate a diffused white color, and then they'll switch to amber when you activate your turn signals. That gives the CXRs a nice modern, clean look. And the turn signals are sequential, and though that doesn't make any difference in function, I'm just a fan of that, and I think most of you probably are too. Now I have to say that I have looked at a few of the CXR series lights here, and I'm pretty impressed by the build quality. While on paper it doesn't sound that much different, when you pull them out of the box, usually with headlights, you can tell right away. Now we see a lot of headlights around these parts, so it takes a lot for me to say that. But here, the outer housings are going to be made from your typical ABS plastic, which is a standard of the auto industry, mostly because it is lightweight and it's durable. Much the same is true for the lenses. These are again going to be the industry standard polycarbonate, but they also feature a UV coating over top for added protection. So that means these aren't going to crack, craze, or turn yellow like a lot of other uncoated polycarbonate would. You also get integrated heat sinks down here on the bottom to keep the electronics cool and running properly, and the entire housing is sealed to keep out dirt and moisture, protect all those valuable electronics inside. So that means that these should be pretty durable and worry-free for you. The CXRs are also DOT and SAE approved, meaning that they are fully street legal and they've got integrated adjusters. Pricing for the set here comes in at about $1,600, and that does put them towards the higher end of the segment. Make no mistake though, you've got a lot of good stuff in here, all those LEDs, and it's definitely a premium product. Again, you can feel that the second you take it out of the box, so of course that means the price is going to reflect that. But these are going to give you the material quality, the lighting output, and the good looks you'd expect from some of the other big name brands, but they just undercut the price a little bit. Installation is going to get a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now these are a fully plug and play operation. Everything comes pre-wired, so you don't actually have to do any wiring yourself. You just got to plug a bunch of stuff in. But these will of course go right in place of your factory lights, meaning that they don't require any further modifications to get installed. And that makes this a job that pretty much anybody can accomplish at home with a little time and some tools. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, extension, T25, 10, and 7mm socket, a clip removal tool, Phillips head screwdriver, needle nose pliers, diagonal cutters, and zip ties. All right, today we're gonna be installing some headlights on our F-150. First, we're gonna watch a quick video how to uninstall stock ones, then we'll come back here to install the new ones.
Now the first step of the uninstall of our factory headlights is to get off this trim panel. Now the trim panel goes all the way around, and in order to completely remove this, we have to peel back some of our fender flare. Now if your truck doesn't have fender flares, obviously that makes life a little easier, but there still will be a couple of retainer screws back here. So step number 1, I'm gonna use a panel removal tool. A flathead screwdriver works as well, but I find this to be a little easier. We're gonna peel up and pry off this little plastic rivet or the push pin clip at the top. From there, we'll move into our fender well. Now some of these can be pretty stubborn, so you might have to go side to side, back to back to get them to pop out. Once that top pops off, peel up under the bottom portion and we'll get it out of place. With the top part out of place, we're just going to pry up under the bottom portion and set it aside. Now at this part on the back of our fender flare, there's 2 Phillips head screws. Now as you can see, we have one off already, but you can grab your Phillips head screwdriver and just remove both of them. Pretty simple. You want to make sure you're holding on to these to be reinstalled later. All right, now that you have the screws out of place, we're going to use the flat portion of a panel removal tool to pry up and out on that fender flare. Now you'll notice there are 3 clips retaining it to your fender right here. We're just going to remove those 3 and detach it. And once you get the one at the top off, these second 2 are actually clipped in. So you want to use the little pry portion of it, go straight in and pry out. You'll hear the snap, it'll detach. Now you see these clips are loosened at this point, at least this middle one is. You want to make sure they stay on the fender flare. You want it to detach from the trim panel and not detach from the fender flare to make it easier for the reinstallation. Now the bottom one, we're just going to pry in, pop right out. Now it's detached. See, now we have this whole panel free and we can use that to peel this off. So what we're going to do is pop this panel out and remove it from under the headlight. All right, from here, gently peel back onto the fender flare. You don't want to break it. There are more clips. If you want to remove more, you can. This is really all you'll technically need though. You want to pry back on this trim panel as much as you can on this portion. It'll detach, go over to your opposite side under your headlight and start to peel back on that. They're really just snapped into place. So once you detach all the portions, you'll be able to set it aside. All right, at this point, grab a 10mm socket. I'm gonna use an extension to make life just a little easier here. There are 3 10mm bolts at the bottom of this black bezel. Get those off. All right, with that, this black trim piece will come and we can gain access to the bottom of the headlight. Now at the top of your headlight, there are 2 10mm bolts. You want to get those out of the way as well. Now between the headlight and the grille, there's 1 more 10mm bolt tucked in a little bit deeper. You will need an extension for that. So we're going to insert that right into this little gap here. Go straight back, find the 10, loosen that up. If you pull straight back, it should come out with your socket. At that point, your headlight's completely loose and ready to come out. Pull straight back. Now, you don't want to pull too hard because there are still wiring harnesses attached. You want to pinch, detach your bulbs, and now you can set your factory headlight aside.
All right, before we install our new headlights, we just have to swap over our bottom mounting bracket. We're just gonna grab our ratchet and T25 socket, take our 3 screws out, and then transfer it over to our new headlight. All right, put it on our new headlight and just reinstall our 3 screws. All right, now you just go ahead and do the same thing for the other headlight. All right, now we just need to run our wire for our fuse tap. So we have our fuse tap, we have our first connector that will go to the passenger side, and then we have our longer wire that will run all the way across to our driver's side. First, we're gonna start by running our fuse tap. We're just gonna run it up in front of the washer bottle here, up behind the battery, and into our fuse box. All right, just pull all the extra through. All right, and now we'll tap into our fuse box. All right, now we're just gonna take our fuse box lid off by releasing this tab here. All right, the fuse we are going after is this 10 amp fuse right here, is in spot 105. So we're gonna use our needle nose pliers and pull that out. Put our fuse tap into place, and we can reinstall our cover. All right, so now we have our first connector here. That'll be for our passenger harness. That can just rest here where the headlight will go. Now you can run and secure your wire however you want. We're just gonna start by securing ours to our harness here with a zip tie. Tighten that, take a pair of diagonal cutters and just cut off the excess. And then we can continue running the other wire to the driver's side. All right, now we're just gonna run our wire across the front of our truck. Now there's not a great spot to secure it. Like I said, you can secure it however you want. We're just gonna pull ours tight and tuck it under the rubber here and here. And we're gonna bunch up the extra and then secure it to this wiring harness over here. All right, so now I bunched up the extra. We're just gonna zip tie it to our harness here. And just cut off the extra. All right, now we just need to plug in all of our harnesses. We have 4 in total. We're gonna start with the wire that we ran. It's our single pin connector. Plug that in. Then we have our factory 2-pin connector. Then we have our turn signal and our headlight connector. And once you have that all plugged in, we're ready to put our headlight into place. Just real quick, you will see a connector down here with 2 wires coming out of it. This is for sequential turn signals. If you leave it connected, it's sequential. Unplug it, it is a regular, just flashing turn signal. We're gonna leave ours plugged in for now. Just tuck your wiring back in place and get your headlight into position. All right, now we can reinstall our 2 10mm bolts up top and 1 on the side. All right, we're gonna start with our 2 10mm bolts up top. I'm gonna thread those in. We're gonna grab our ratchet, extension, and 10mm socket and tighten them down. All right, now we're gonna install the bolt on the inside of the headlight here. You're probably not gonna be able to see it, but you're just gonna use your ratchet, extension, and 10mm socket and tighten it down. All right, now we're gonna install our lower trim piece, get it into position, and reinstall our 3 10mm bolts. All right, now we're gonna put our painted cover over, pull our fender filler back, get it secured into place. All right, and we're gonna reinstall our push pin up top. Then we're gonna go to our fender flare and resecure our 2 bolts. Now we can install our 2 bolts in our fender flare. We have 2 7mm bolts in our case, so we're gonna be using a ratchet and a 7mm socket. You might have those 2 Phillips head screws, so it just depends on what tool you're gonna use. We're just gonna thread ours in and tighten ours down. All right, once you have that done, you can just repeat those same steps for the other headlight. All right, and that wraps up our install of our Raxium CXR Series V2 LED projector headlights for the black housing and clear lens for our 2015 to 2017 F-150 and 2018 to 2020 F-150 Raptor. And remember, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.